All right, hello everybody. Welcome to our March team call. It's actually our second team call of the month since it's been a couple of weeks since we had one and it's still March. So welcome. I just want to take some time to do our normal housekeeping things as we get started here on the call. Just some reminders of what's been going on, what's going to be going on to keep you in the loop. Some of this is related to our team. Some of it's related to things you'll find if you look in the Coach Online office. So first off, if you're running your own Coach Basics, that's great. If you can't maybe right now or you're just not ready to, remember that you can always join one of mine or some of the other coaches on the team that are running them. I have one starting next Monday, which I believe is April 6th. So if you have anybody that needs into a training group, whether it's a coach that really hasn't got started yet or is a new coach, let's get them in and get them trained. It's only 3 weeks long. We teach them the basics. So that it's not overwhelming at first because there is so much information out there. So if you have someone that you need in that, let me know so we can get them in. I'll get the group set up this weekend and we'll kick off on Monday. Just a reminder for Success Club this month, we want to try to strive at least for 5. This is the last month that 5 will get you leads, or the Shakeology leads. So you want to strive for your 5 for this month and then we're going to start going for 10 next month. If you get 5 or above in the month of March, we get our Monopoly game that's Beachbody specific. So that's going to be something they said kind of a collector's edition and never going to be for sale. So you want to try to earn that. It looks like it's a lot of fun. So it's just one of the prizes, one of the incentives if you earn March Success Club. Prizes aside, leads aside, it really just means if you hit Success Club that your business is moving forward. So it's definitely something I know I strive for every month, and I'm still working towards March. I know I only have a day and a little bit and an evening left, but I'll get it. I know I'll hit 5. So that's my goal for this month, and then I'll be going back to making sure I get 10 every month starting next month. Just some reminders as far as sales go. So tomorrow's the last day of the month, and we still have some challenge packs, lots of challenge packs this month. Beachbody On Demand Challenge Pack, Turbo Fire, T25, and the Refresh. And these, they say they're through the 31st. You might catch some of them still April 1st. And we should know, hopefully, we'll know by April 1st, I would think, but we may know tonight or tomorrow what our sales will be, what our challenge pack sales will be for April. So as soon as I know, I'll post, I'll let you guys know. Sometimes you guys know the same time I do, but if not, I'll be sure to share that with you guys. All right, and then just 2 quick things. Summit is quickly approaching. I can't believe it's really not that far away. If you want your room paid for, anyone that hits Diamond by April, mid-April, so I think the deadline would be the 16th. Anyone that hits Diamond by then, I'll be spotting you the cash to either get your room or you can stay with me in the condo that I booked. So if you're getting close to that, keep striving for that, and hopefully you can earn the little extra incentive. So I know a lot of you guys are really close, so keep striving for it, and let's get some diamonds by April 16th so you can save yourself some money on the trip to Summit. And then finally, the Success Club trip here to Cancun. Some of us, many of us, I guess a handful of us will be out of pocket from the 15th we travel down on of April and come home Sunday, the 19th. So while I might be on posting, I'm sure I'll be posting some pics of our workouts and our time at the beach. I don't know how much I'll be on working the business. So please be sure if you guys have questions, post them on the team page. There's a lot of great coaches. All of you guys are great at helping each other out and sharing, what you know and can help answer questions. So please post your questions on the team page, and I'm sure they'll get answered. Others are there to help you answer those while I'm gone. So please take advantage of that. All right. So I like to celebrate every week, or excuse me, every week and every team call. So here is our top volume producers for the last 4 weeks. So this would have been as of Thursday and then 4 weeks back. Tessa is at the top again. I think she was at the top last time with over 2,000. She was at 19? teams, 28 for the last 4 weeks. Everybody on this board would have had 400 PV or more within the last 4 weeks. So I'd like to give shout out. There's, I think, 19 of you up there that did a nice job, a great job of helping others, paying it forward. So congrats. And really, you know, I really like this one even better than our weekly one because it shows consistency and shows, you know, maybe you don't have a great week. You know, there's some weeks my volume's down, there's some weeks it's up. So this really shows a nice average of where you fall. So congrats to everybody, especially for Tessa for hitting the top again. Nice work. And then as always, I'd like to welcome the new coaches. They're so important. And that is the new names up here, these new folks that have joined us, and we're so glad to have you with us. And what we're going to talk about today, if you're new and you're thinking this doesn't make any sense to me, please reach out to your coach that sponsored you. And some of the things we're going to be talking about today on the call is what we're going to be doing to get you guys all up to speed. So please, you know, this is still beneficial for you as a new coach, even though we're talking about bringing on new coaches. You're going to be doing it yourself sooner than later, and it'll give you some background on what your new coach or what your coach is doing to bring you on and get you up to speed. So welcome. And then we normally celebrate Success Club, but since this is our second call in March, we celebrated February's already, and we don't have March's finalized yet. So in April, we'll celebrate our March Success Club earners. All right, so this is where my PowerPoint's going to end. I'm actually going to be sharing a couple of different documents and showing you some of the things that I do to bring on a new coach. So I guess I want to start by saying that you can duplicate what I'm doing, but you're not necessarily going to need to copy it. This is what works for me, and it's going to give you a nice baseline, a very good kind of starting point for what you can do as a coach to bring on other coaches.
Can you turn that down a little bit?
All right, so a second here. I apologize. My computer. There we go. All right. So what I'm going to first show you guys, you have access to on Google Drive. And I shared the link in our team page, actually in our event. So if my computer decides to work, I will share the document, but you'll have access to it, print it off or change it or make it work for you. But essentially, this is my little checklist. Let me get it to come up. This is my checklist of what I make sure I cover up to speed on. So I do this whether they tell me they're going to be a discount coach and they don't necessarily want to work the business. I do it, of course, with the coaches that say they're all in and they're ready to go. So the first thing that I do, and I'll actually show you guys my letter, and many of you may have seen it before. If you're my coach, you would have seen it. I send out a welcome letter, normally through Facebook, sometimes through email. It just depends on what the person prefers or how I normally communicate with them. It's a welcome letter that really gives them a checklist of everything they need to do. It's right in front of them. They can print it off. I've actually edited it in the last couple of weeks so that it's made more of a checklist. It's kind of, there's a table on there you can go through and check off as a new coach what it is you've done, and then make sure that you achieve everything you need to get up and running. So there's a welcome letter, and we'll talk about that next. But before we jump into the welcome letter, just a few things about it. You'll want to make sure that you adjust it for your coach's information, and you'll see that, and make it your own. So I'll show you guys that here in a minute. And then, so it's out on Google Drive. And I think I don't know if I have the most recent version on our team page, but regardless, you want to make sure you get a copy of it, whether it's from Google Drive or you need me to send it to you if Google Drive isn't your cup of tea, and save it somewhere for you, whether you make your own folder on Google Drive or you save it on your computer, but you want to make sure you save a copy for you that you can edit every time you have a new coach come on, and you can send that out to them. So as you bring on coaches, and you might think, I only bring one on every so often, but as you grow your business, you want to make sure you have a system in place that makes it easy, that you don't really have to think about it if you're busy. You can just, you know what you need to do. So that's why I kind of like this list of things to make sure I know what I need to do when I bring a new coach on. So we'll look at the welcome letter. Once I send out the welcome letter, it has, like I said, some tasks for them to complete. But in the meantime, I still go ahead and welcome them to our team page. Now, some of you might have your own team page, and that's fine. Some of you may decide to add them to my team as well. Obviously, if they're one of the coaches that's joining me personally, they'll be added to the team page. So, but regardless, get them in a team page, get them in that environment. Again, whether or not they want to work the business or not, our team page is still a support system for workouts. We ask nutrition questions on there, and it gives them a chance to see, well, maybe I want to do this. Maybe I'm ready to, maybe I want to really try to make a go at this business. I was a discount coach, and if Nicole hadn't added me to the team page, I probably wouldn't have done anything with it. So I got in there, I was motivated, I was inspired, and I decided to give it a try. So don't think you shouldn't add your coach to a team page just because they say, I'm just a discount coach, because you never know what that discount coach can turn into. So definitely encourage you to add them to your team page, my team page, or however you choose to do that. After they're added to the team page, and there's, again, several things through the welcome letter that they'll be doing, but one of them is scheduling their Get Started Right interview. And I'm kind of changing how I'm doing that a little bit. So everybody's going to do this differently. I'll reach out to them and say, hey, when's a good time? But in the letter, it also tells them to reach out to me. I have a link that helps them see when I'm available, and they can actually schedule time with me. And I've only recently went to that because I was having trouble getting everybody scheduled in when I needed it. So, and when was good for them, good for me, with all of our schedules. So do what works for you. You can change the welcome letter to reflect that. But a Get Started Right interview is so important. Whether you do it with them or your first time you do it with your upline coach, but that is a key piece of getting a coach going. So, and it's more about getting to know them, and you can go over what's it called now? It was the 7-day quick start guide. I think it's the business starter guide now. Go over that with them. It gives them a baseline to know, what they need to do. It's also where I find out for sure whether they're looking to be a discount coach, or are they going to work the business? How much time do they want from me? Because someone that's going to be a discount coach, I'm there to support them with their fitness, with their health, nutrition, those types of things, or if they have an occasional business question. But if they're a discount coach, then they're someone I'm going to focus on a little bit differently than someone that says, I'm all in, I want to make this a business. That kind of coach is going to get the time they want from me to ensure they succeed. So you want to make sure that you are delegating, you're kind of laying out your time appropriately based on what they tell you on the call. And I know Nicole did the same thing with me. When I said I was a discount coach, I didn't hear much from her in regards to the business until I was like, hey, I think I want to learn about this. And then that kind of shifted, and her focus, went to more, okay, what can I do to help you? So it's definitely something you need to find out about from your coach to see how you want to spend your time, where you're giving your time to, because we all have limited time, and so you want to spend it wisely. One of the things after they Get Started Right interview, one of the things we talk about on there is how they get started in their training. And I've talked about this on the team page, I made a video about it, but there are trainings in the Coach Online office now, better than the old Coach Academy, the Coach Training Academy. And there's two pieces, the getting started piece and the coach piece, that I ask my new coaches to do before they join the Coach Basics. It's really simple. It gives them the basics, the computer setup, the website, those types of things. So it's things that they can learn from just watching those videos, reading over some things, and then we spend the time talking about more of the vital behaviors and inviting and building relationships and personal development and the actual Coach Basics. So I'm pushing more towards making that a requirement. You have to finish these two pieces, getting started and coach, before you enroll in a 3-week Coach Basics. So you'll see that there on my outline. So after they Get Started Right, then they complete a 2-part training in the Coach Online office, which isn't extremely lengthy. There's a lot of documents they can print out for reference, things like that. It's more about just getting familiar with what's out there and what it means to be a coach. What are the things you should be doing on a daily basis? And then we take that and expand that as we move into the 3-week Coach Basics. From the 3 weeks, and I'm not going to get a lot into the 3 weeks Coach Basics right now. Most of you have been through one of mine, especially since it has been the 3 weeks. If not, and you want to see what I do, let me know. We can always get you in the next one, or I can put you in one of the older ones. You can kind of go through my posts. But it's 21 days. I post every day, either a tip, a video with a tip in it, of what they should be doing to grow their business. So again, if you're not running your own Coach Basics, that's okay, but get them in one to give them a chance to see what's out there, what's available, and what it really means to be a coach. And finally, offering additional one-on-one mentoring. For those of you, especially my personally sponsored coaches, in my PS only page, I post, let me know when you need to chat, if you want to, set up a phone call or you need something. And I offer that to really anybody on the team. So, but I really do look at those. So get my priority would be those that have completed the 3-week Coach Basics. Because if you're looking to chit chat about what you need to do in the business, but you haven't put the time in to go through a Coach Basics, our discussion might not be as valuable to you because you haven't gone through that training. You haven't seen what's out there, what you can learn from that Coach Basics. So I do offer that one-on-one mentoring after the fact. Anybody in the downline can reach out to me, and we can definitely set up time to talk. But if you're someone that hasn't done the Coach Basics, I may, we'll talk, but I may push back and say, okay, well, let's get you in a Coach Basics now, because that's where you're going to learn, and a lot of these questions are going to get answered. So that's kind of those are kind of the steps I go through as I bring on a new coach. Again, if it's someone that's just a discount coach, we might not even get to the 3-week Coach Basics. It's just going to be more that initial, they get the welcome letter so that they at least have a baseline to go from. I still like to talk to them on the phone because at a minimum, I'm going to learn more about their health and fitness goals and find out for sure that, hey, I just want a Shakeology discount, and that's completely okay. That's fine. And something I'm going to talk about, I'll either make a video or maybe I'll hold a call later this week again, a way to kind of get our discount coaches to at least pay for their Shakeology. And I'll talk about how we can roll that out and cover their costs that way. But that's something I'm still pulling together. So just a little teaser on that. We'll either do a call later this week or make a video about that. So this is a good reference tool. This document is in Google Drive, so you can print it off, you can change it, add in what you want to do, take out what you don't like of mine, and make it your own. But these are just the good basic steps to go through. What I do want to look at, because at a minimum, a new coach needs to get some kind of welcome letter. It can be a lot shorter than what I send. It doesn't have to be as lengthy. Let's see. But I'll point out some of the basics that you should have in it. Again, this is in Google Drive, too, wherever it is. Here it is. So here is my letter. I should be able to see that, I think. And you'll see I have different things highlighted in yellow. I don't necessarily always leave them highlighted when I send them out, but that reminds me of what I need to change out. I want to welcome them. I put the new coach's name in. This top paragraph, I would make it sound like something from you. Change it, welcome them, use your own voice, make it your own, have your own flair to it. So, feel free to change this top paragraph to make it sound like you. We all have different ways of communicating, so you want to make sure, like I said, you can duplicate what I'm doing, but I definitely wouldn't copy it because you want to have your own style to it. The one thing I like to have on here kind of shows what their goals is, and whether it's within the next week, or the next 8 weeks, the next 90 days, or whatever it might be, 6 months. This is our goals in kind of this order. Your first goal with a new coach is always to help them get their product paid for. That's, many of us sign up because we want the discount and maybe make a couple extra bucks to pay for what I say is our addiction. I need my new workouts. I need my Shakeology. So getting your product paid for. And then ultimately, if possible, earning success starters. which means they're on the right track to earning Success Club, eventually earning Emerald rank. And bottom line, this number 4 is a big thing because so many coaches, I find this is what hinders their success, is that confidence to just be okay with sharing and to be okay with putting themselves out there. So gaining confidence as a coach is really, really key to hitting those first 1, 2, and 3. So those are good things to leave in your letter. And then this is kind of just a little summary. You could reword this as well, but this just tells them what it's all about, what we're going to do to get them started. Let me scroll on down. So this is something new I added after I held my local Emerald training where we went through this. And let me scroll down. So I'm calling it my 7 action steps to complete in 7 days. So the new coach can print this off and they can check off the various tasks. You can adjust this. Maybe you only have 5 steps or whatever. You can change it. But ultimately, this is an important one. You want to do your Get Started Right call. And here's where I have my little link so people can schedule with me. Yours might say, message me on Facebook or give me a call or let's connect, whatever. But you want to have some note that they need to reach out to you to schedule their GSR appointment. Number 2, you can leave this or take it. I actually do a little questionnaire at the bottom. And there's one question that's really important to me, and that's question 11, and we'll look at that. So at a minimum, I like to know about question 11, which I said we'll take a look at that. So definitely, even if you cut out the questions, you still want to get to find out if they're a discount coach, if they're looking to build the business, what their take is on that. Number 3 is just helpful for me. How do they communicate? Some people like to text, some people like to Facebook message, others would prefer email. So I would rather just get on the phone. Now, phone is something I always schedule time with, but if they want to text me, I'm fine with that. But any of the above is fine. The Quick Start Guide, or the Business Quick Start, that would have been emailed out to them. It's also available when they do the training that I asked them to do. So that's something they can fill out and send back to me, or we'll go over during the Getting Started Right call. Something else I put in the email, step 5, is getting on a team call. I have it highlighted in yellow, so I make sure I change it to the next team call that I'm holding. So if you want to use that, you can add, when our next team call is, or if you do your own calls, little mini calls with your team, feel free to sub in your next team call as well. Number 6, getting started right in coach trainings is what I mentioned they need to do. And I said see below because I actually tell them where they need to go for that. And then number 7, you guys may have seen, number 7 is a personality test. Again, it's not a priority. I want to get to the point where I do make sure everyone does it because it helps me know how to, interact and what motivates people, what their means of communication is, things like that. But there's so much other stuff. It's a nice to have, but it's not a must have for me. What are must have that you give your new coaches is this section right here. These websites, their coach ID. I bet many of you can remember when you came on, you're like, what the heck is my website? I don't even know what my coach ID is. What does that even mean? So when your new coach comes on, you can see that in the Coach Online office. Under new personally sponsored coaches, when you click on them, you can see their username and you can see their coach ID. So all you need to do in here is put in their username after the backslash and type in their coach ID. So that's really helpful for them when they're like, I have somebody interested, I don't even know where to send them. So that is, a good reference thing for them. They can have this printed out and refer to it. Let's see. I apologize, my computer just locked up again. All right, you can't quite see it on the screen, but the next section is, here's how to navigate your Coach Online office. And that's where I talk them through how do you get to the getting started in the coach training, which is where they want to start, which is what they want to begin to do. So that information is there. And then the rest of the letter really just outlines those various questions that I ask. And again, question 11 is the main one I'm worried about. The rest of them are just getting to know you. Some coaches come on, I know them. They were friends from high school, or they were, people that I was close with. Some coaches I only know through Facebook. Some coaches, the first time I meet them is when they sign up to coach. So that's why I like, let me see, my computer might be working now. That's why I like to ask those questions of anybody that joins me on the team. So again, I apologize, my computer is not working real well, but you have the letter in Google Drive. Again, if you can't access it, let me know, and I can send the letter to you. All right. So down here, now that it is finally working, down here you'll see I actually put the date of their training that they're going to join, that I hope that they're going to join once they've completed the above mentioned trainings. So it kind of gives them a deadline. If they joined last week, the next training starts on the 6th of April. They know they have some time to get that completed and then join. This video I have here is actually the one I made for our team page that shows you the new coach training when they changed over from the coaching academy to the segmented rank kind of sectioned off training. So feel free to use that if you want, that's fine. It just has me navigating, walking through the coach training on the Coach Online Office. And it is mainly, it's for anybody to watch, whether you're a seasoned coach or a new coach, but I do focus a lot on the new coaches in that one and talk through that. Coach relations, this information right here, I definitely would leave in your welcome letter. I tell them to add it to their phone contact list because you're going to be calling it, you're going to use that number frequently. So it's good to have that, provide that to your new coach so that they're aware. Okay, so here's just the questions that I ask. Here's the question that I mentioned. This is a great way to ask it. I actually copied this from another coach's welcome letter. So we ask them if they're a discount coach. That's fine. We ask them if they're a business builder. We understand those two things, those two kind of titles. But if you notice letter B, ready to learn coach, not 100% sure. You want to jump in and grow your business, but you do want to learn more about it. So many times someone tells me, I want to be a discount coach. They get my letter and then they're like, well, maybe I'm B. And then they turn into even being more and being a business builder. So that middle of the ground response kind of gives them a chance to not necessarily commit that, hey, I want to build this business, but it opens them up to wanting to learn. And someone like that, I would still put in a Coach Basics class. I would still give them, if they're putting forth the effort, then I'm still going to give them my time if they want calls or any additional help. So I like having those kind of 3 different choices. And a lot of coaches will say, many will say C, and then when they look at A and B, a lot of times they're going to pick B and say, maybe I do want to grow this business just a little bit, or at least learn a little bit about it. And then finally, just, you want to tailor it with your information on how they can get a hold of you. All right, so that is the welcome letter. Again, I shared a link for where you can find this in our event for tonight. And if you can't find it, let me know, and I'll send it to you. But you'll want to save it somewhere where you could just make your changes and then to tailor it to you. And then as you bring new coaches on, just put in their information and you have it to send out each and every time. If you want to completely revamp it with some of the same topics, if you have a better ideas on how to do it, feel free to do that. I based off of, there is one in the Coach Online Office, a welcome letter. So I took pieces of that. I took pieces of my success partner that I did the training with a couple weeks ago, some of her ideas. So, so I kind of just made it my own that way, and you can do the same. Let me see. Let me get back. All right, so the other thing I mentioned I was going to talk about, and I shared it already in, let me find it, in our Facebook group, on our event page. I'm just trying to pull it up. All right, so in our event page, I shared the life cycle of my client. And I'll just touch on this briefly, and then I'll let you ladies, I think we only have ladies on the phone tonight. I'll let you gals go for the evening, and then any questions you have, I can answer, or you can post in the event. But this is kind of how, when I was brainstorming with my success partner a few weeks ago, I've kind of already been doing this, but to put it on paper really helped me. So I have a new customer. Okay. I have somebody that, wants to improve their health, their fitness, whatever it might be, whatever their goals are. And where do I put them? How do I get them started? Maybe they tell me they're not ready for a challenge pack, but that's okay. And so that's why I have my free nutrition groups. So I get them involved in a free 10-day nutrition group. That next step, maybe they're ready for a challenge group then. They're ready for the 21-day fix. They're ready maybe just for the portion piece of it, the meal planning part. And then ultimately, we want to move into coaching. So those are kind of the phases I'm looking at. And my focus really is, I know we have tons of programs out there, and I have a passion for several of them, but my focus really is around the 21-day fix, because it can teach people things that the other programs can't when it comes to nutrition. And it doesn't matter what workout you're doing. I don't care if you do an asylum, if you're eating like crap, you're not going to see the results. So I feel like with 21-day fix, I can focus on helping people with their nutrition. And then if they want to branch off and do other workouts from there, that's wonderful. But they have that baseline good nutrition with the 21-day fix. So really, when it says challenge group, even on my life cycle, the challenge group I'm trying to get them in is probably, unless it's not a good fit for them, it's the 21-day fix, because that's where they're going to learn a lot about nutrition. Now, it might be the fix, it might be the fix extreme, if there's somebody that's a little more physically fit. But bottom line is, I want them focused on their nutrition. And people come to me and want me to build the meal plans. Well, let's just do this 21-day fix, because that's what I do every day. And it's simple, easy for someone new to follow and to understand. So just kind of be thinking about where you want your focus to be. And, it's okay that you're not promoting Shaun T's workouts, or it's okay that, you never promote P90X. Sure, when things are on sale, I might put something up, but really find your niche and your focus of people that you want to help. And for me, it is people that want to improve their nutrition. That's what I love to do. That's what I enjoy doing. And so that's kind of how I built this cycle is thinking about how I do that. And then finally, maybe somebody does a free nutrition group and they are just adamant, they're not buying anything, they're done with me. They're not ready to commit to anything else. Then I funnel them into a general customer group. I have a customer group that, as long as I'm their coach, it doesn't matter if they've ever bought from me, it doesn't matter if they ever plan to. They go into a customer group where I'll still give them support. They have access to me to ask questions, and it gives them that small support group of other people to interact with. So anybody that, as they kind of fall off or aren't ready to go on to the next phase, they can just end up in my general group, regardless of what they're doing. So that's kind of just something, I just wanted to throw that out there for something to think about for you, to think, how do you approach it? How are you making sure that you have, your customers are coming to you for help, but then what? What are you going to do to make sure that they remain a customer and you're there to support them? Because that's really what it's about, being there for our customers to help them grow, with their nutrition, with their fitness, and make sure they're successful. And again, we can't force things at them. We can't say, you should do this challenge group. It's not for everybody. So what options do you have? So just be thinking about that. And then that's where ultimately your coach signups come in that we talked about. So are you building kind of that funnel of people that might be ready to coach someday? And it might be next week, next month, or next year, or 2 or 3 years, like in the case I sometimes have. So don't be hard on yourself. Just be kind of thinking about how can you get these people moving through the process while you're supporting them. All right. So let me unmute you guys. Hold on. If I can find it. All right. If you guys have any questions you want to ask now, feel free, or you can post on the event page, ask, so it's better, beneficial for everyone as well. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody? So I hope you found that helpful, and I'll be posting this as a recording, again, as long as I technically can do that. So